Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the post-game press conference for today's NCAA Division II playoff game. We appreciate your presence here as we gather to hear from the head coaches and student athletes. We will begin with an opening statement from Harding head coach Paul Simmons, followed by questions. Also on stage with Coach Simmons are student athletes Cole Keelan and Ty Duggar. Coach, please give us your initial thoughts on today's game.
I tell you, it feels surreal. It doesn't feel like it's really happening. Incredibly proud of these young men, of our coaches, and the job they've done. But I do want to make sure everybody understands this. There are people that don't know us very well come up and say, "Coach, we finally did it. We finally made it." But that, a national championship has never been the goal of Harding football, and it never will be. The goal of Harding football is to have the very best culture anywhere in the country, and that for us is defined by honoring God. And what honors God is to love each other at a crazy high level, to be really, really accountable, to have a ton of passion and have an awesome work ethic, and to be able to put yourself and your own dreams and your ego behind, and just worry about the brothers beside you. And so that's always the goal. But then it also is part of our goal to pursue excellence. We think that pursuing excellence honors God, and certainly these young men and these coaches have pursued excellence. It was evident today. Lenoir Rhyne had an excellent group and an excellent run, but our guys just really, really had a great week. And I've never seen a group be more ready for the moment than the guys were today. So just a special day.
Thank you, Coach. We will now open the floor for questions.
Coach, all year long, we've always talked a lot about you guys being solid in every phase, offensively, defensively, special teams. Today kind of epitomized that. You guys made plays in every aspect of the game, and just and on the biggest stage, to be quite honest with you, until next week. Just how big was that? And you mentioned the guys being laser focused all week, and it pretty much showed today.
Yeah, I'll answer that question, but the first thing I want to say before I answer that is I just I can't help but think about some of the guys that would be so proud of right now. I think about Dr. Gaines and Dr. City and so many of our heroes that how they would feel right now. That's on my mind right now. But back to your question, you were exactly right. Defensively we were dominant. Offensively it was so impressive. I thought the O-line was especially impressive today. You knew on that first drive they were just getting such great knockback and push. And then, I guess we blocked a field goal. We returned to kick off for a touchdown. We recovered an onside kick. 3 giant plays. I can't say enough about this staff. When the year started, the challenge to my guys was, how many of you guys can have the best year of your life as a coach, as you lead your guys? How many guys in this room can have the very best year? And obviously, this staff has done a crazy job. But I will tell you, I do want to say this. When our year starts, we spend a day, and we don't talk about football, we talk about culture. And the very first directive to my coaches is, man, we got to begin with the end in mind. And then I say, guys, I want you to be able to close your eyes and imagine your group, the O-line, D-line, whoever it is, getting ready to take the field for the national title game in McKinney, Texas. And I want you to think about what you want their group to look like, the toughness, the grit, hands locked, eyes set, no matter who we're playing against, what we're doing, the way those guys love each other. You got to have a vision for that day, and then everything that you do, how you speak to your guys, the way you love on them, how you correct them, how you coach them, it's got to point to that picture or it's got to go. And so the staff has done an awesome job, and it was very evident today.
Coach, you start off with, defense forces a 3 and out, go down and score on your first drive, recover the onside kick, score again. Just what went into that start, you think? And then, how confident were the guys just after that start?
Well, we a big deal for us is how many tiny victories can we stack up throughout the week, and that's about your sleep, your nutrition, the way you encourage one another, the way you watch film, and we talk about that every single victory, no matter how small it is, being a little bitty drop that goes into this body of water, and it grows and grows and grows and grows, and then on game day, if you do it the right way, the dam breaks and this gigantic wave comes out. And it felt like that all week. I mean, we had a great Sunday night meeting. You could tell the guys were locked in, and then we followed up by awesome practices every day. And certainly, even though Lenoir Rhyne was a great opponent, I don't think anybody was surprised by how that day went because of how prepared and how focused the guys have been this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Randy Rainwater, 103.7 The Buzz. Paul, there were several different plays that you could have, say, turned the game. You talked about the onside kick. You talked about the block punt. The huge return at the end of the first half, especially answering the touchdown that Lenoir just scored. Talk about those plays, and then Ty, to follow up, if you'll talk about the block punt. What led to that? What did you see, and how did it all develop?
Yeah, the first giant play was the onside kick, and, that's kind of a high-risk, high-reward play. And, they don't let me make many decisions on game day, but that is one of the ones that I get to make. And, it's tempting to be conservative when your defense is playing so well. But, certainly we're not going to play and coach not to lose. We're going to play to win, and we're going to get after it. And, part of that is taking some chances when it's there, and kind of like the fake punt, in round one. Are we trying to survive? Or are we trying to make plays and get after it? So, Coach Tribble coaches that unit and does an awesome job. And so, we did it well all week, and he just kept saying, "Coach, I think it's there." And so, great job by him. And then, if you watch the Bisons play, you know that we have not had very many players in our history that are more electric than Braden Jay. He is just a special kid. And, I watched it. I was on the opposite 20-yard line, so I could see the windows opening up, and I'm like, man, they kicked the ball to the wrong guy because he's so special. And that felt like a dagger because that touchdown, they kind of had momentum going into the half, and then he just took the life out of their whole sideline. And it was impressive, but it's not surprising. He does that all the time.
I want to give the credit to Coach Blankenship because he schemed up that block and it worked out perfectly. But the guys around me all did their job, and a big old gap just opened up, and I just got to come scot-free. And really, it's credit to the guys around me and our coach for scheming up a really great block attempt.
Why don't you just take it off of his foot and go for it?
He almost did.
You were that close.
Yeah, it was a huge gap. I mean, it was a perfect scheme.
Cole, throughout the game, it looked like you couldn't wait after media timeouts to call the next play. How exciting was it for you to be the quarterback in a game like this?
Oh yeah, I mean it was very exciting. We just view it as any other game, but the hype around this game and the media timeouts, you said, those are long. Like, we were waiting a while, and like we knew, like, the floodgates were going to open at some point. And we always thought it was that next play that we called. We'd scheme up something in the huddle, and we just thought that was the play. And a lot of times it was, so it was just ready to get out there and execute it.
What would you say about yards after contact, whether it was you or Dela Cruz or any of the other guys today? I mean, it's always part of the game, but it felt like today you guys weren't going down at the first touch.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I could put myself in that category with people like Blake, Braden, Chauncey.
Yeah, you can.
But, I mean, God, those guys are dogs. Like, y'all see Blake every week, ball out every single week. And then, as you said, Braden Jay is very electric. Everybody we can give the ball to is extremely dangerous. My job is to get the ball to the guys who can go. So it's pretty easy when you do that.
Thank you, Cole. Next question.
Coach, last week you said it was one of the best days in Bison history. How do you sum up the emotions around today getting over this hump to make the championship?
You know, today's a little different because the game didn't end up being close, but I kind of spent a lot of the fourth quarter just thinking about how tough it's been. It's been a really, really hard trip to get here. And then I think about the people that went before us that helped us get there, the people that fight like crazy behind the scenes for us that, you know, nobody even knows how big of a role that they have. I think about, you know, Brenda Sewell and the job she does working to get tickets ready. And I think about, you know, just so many people that that this matters. It matters to them. And it doesn't matter. The win is not what matters, but just young men loving each other and fighting like crazy. And, you know, I can't tell you what it means to me when I see an old gentleman and he said, Coach, I played ball back in the late 60s and we weren't any good. But, Coach, I want you to know when I put on a Harding football sweatshirt and I walk through the airport, you know, I stand up a little taller, my chest sticks out, and I'm proud to be a Bison. And that matters to me. It matters to me a great deal. It matters to our young men. We recognize that it's about way more than the guys in that locker room, that we're representing this university, and we're representing a bunch of old warriors that, you know, never had a chance to play in a game that matters, never had a chance to have decent facilities. And we feel like we're carrying the torch for a lot of people that we love, and we want to honor God, but we also want to honor so many of those warriors that went before us. Think about Saeed Perez. We lost Saeed this week. Saeed was one of two team captains in this school's history. He was a three-time team captain. He was a great warrior, died of cancer this week. And I just think about people like him that didn't have a chance to play in this kind of a game. And, yeah, it's pretty special.
You talk a lot about culture, and you can see the buy-in from the team. But even today, the fans are behind you chanting "Flex Bone" and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to see the way that the body has embraced this team, how cool is that for you?
You know, I spoke in chapel on Monday, and, you know, and I just thanked them again. I said, because they've been awesome. I mean, the fans, the students, all of our fans, it's been a fantastic year in every regard. But this is the first year we've ever had a crowd that impacted the game. And I told them Monday, I said, man, we need you. We need you. Our young men, we feel your energy. It matters to us. We care about what you think about us. We want to make you proud. And, you know, it's been fantastic. And I know there's a large contingent of old Bisons in the Dallas Metroplex area, and I can't wait to have a fantastic reunion in Dallas. And I just can't wait to see so many old people that don't have a chance to come watch us play and to, you know, celebrate together, and then watch these guys, you know, go out and compete one more time.
That's my last one. After a couple of one-point victories, how nice was it to have the game in hand come the fourth quarter?
Well, I'm not mad about it, I can tell you that. You know, it was a good day. Yeah, I would choose for it to be this way, for sure.
Coach, you and I spoke earlier this week, and you were talking about this team and this team being the greatest the program has ever had, with this victory and with the record that is truly established now. You know these guys, and you know their background stories better than we do. What is the secret ingredient, if there is one, and what is the difference between this team and that 2017 team that you keep saying that, you know, the guys were tired of hearing stories about, and you want them to go out and make their own story?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to speak about a difference between these guys and those guys, but I promise you the secret ingredient, the secret sauce of Harding football is always love. It's always love. Everything we do is about love. The greatest motivator is not fear or greed. The greatest motivator is love. And, you know, when you really love somebody, it changes how you do things. It changes your motivation. It changes, you know, your feelings when you had a giant victory, but you didn't have the role you wanted to have, or you didn't get to play, or your stats weren't. You know, if it's really about, you know, when you love somebody, and for our coaches, if, you know, if our motivation really is, I really am. I'm going to love that young man. I'm going to speak life into him. I'm going to fight like crazy to help him be a father who comes through for his kids one day and honors his wife. If those are your real motivations, then, football games start to feel a little bit easier. And that's always the secret ingredient. If the country knew what our young men were really like, the level of accountability, the way they do everything, the way they respond to coaching, I think they'd be shocked. I mean, they're not perfect, but they are unbelievable, special young men.
You guys break the single-season record for most rushing yards. Coach, for you and Cole, I mean, just what does that say about this program and what has made this year just so dominant as far as the run game goes, and especially today?
Tell us, Cole.
I mean, obviously it starts with our offensive line, and they've been great game in and game out. Whenever we have, times get tough, I mean, we just ride behind the O-line every single time. You look at Henderson, OBU, look at games like this, you look at Grand Valley, I mean, it's just smash mouth nonstop. And, I mean, as we talked about earlier, it's just the guys we got that can carry the ball are just, I mean, they're just great week in and week out. And, I just got to get the ball to those guys.
And, I'll say this. People love to attack the flex bone because it's not cool, it's not fancy. How are you going to recruit receivers and a lot of these things. But I can promise you this. When I'm choosing an offense or a defensive style or whatever else, the thing that what I want to be about is winning the ball game. And, running the flex bone is pretty good if you care about winning. Again, I think you see today one of the main features of it is about you've got to be unselfish. I mean, we had so many guys that were a giant part of the attack today, and it fits who we want to be, the toughness, the discipline, and the unselfishness. And, awesome shout out to those guys on that offensive staff. They just work so hard and care so much, and they have the guys ready to go every week. So awesome job.
And then for you personally, I mean, just how cool is a day like this where, you coach a game here and then, later tonight your son's playing in a state title game? Just how cool
Well, I tell you, when I thought that I was going to miss my son's game, I mean, I just can't tell you what that would have done to me to miss that game. I might have skipped the Bisons game to go watch my boys play. Family for me is everything. And this has been an amazing ride because my baby boy, my younger son, is getting to start, beside his brother. And it's only going to happen one time. It's going to happen one time. And so I don't know. I don't know exactly what God orchestrates. But for the Bisons to get the 1 seed and get to play at home every game, which means I get to go watch my sons play, and then to have the finals and we got an 11 o'clock game, and the academy plays at 6:30. It really I probably can't handle any more blessings. It's just it's flowing over. It's unbelievable. God is so good. He's been so good to me and my family. Yeah. And today's my younger son's birthday. I mean, it's just getting wild at my house now.